Hi guys, my name is Dylan,
My name is Stephanie.
and today we are back to another podcast. And this time it's not a car podcast; it's actually a home podcast. It's because we have received some feedback lah, saying our video quality is quite bad from the car, and I actually tried. I tried. My camera is actually an iPhone 14
Base back.
base back, and with the mic is proper mic, but because the road condition is very bad, so it keeps vibrating. So sometimes the angle will be very very weird. So anyone who knows how to
Any recommendations, please comment down below for him.
what camera, what lens, what stand, or how many angle I don't know lah.
How to be stable, how to have a stable camera holder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important. So we can continue our car podcast. If not, it have to be a home podcast.
Which one do you guys prefer? Also comment down below.
Yeah, let us
Because
know.
we have our puppy here.
Yes, ready. Okay, now, without further ado, let's start discussing. Actually, our first topic that these few days we have been talking about it because recently
We
we've
really love Sweden so much that we were really contemplating whether to migrate over there in our later years, right? So it suddenly struck us to do some research on and have some discussions on our feelings, whether we really want to migrate over to Sweden or really stay in Malaysia. What's good about Malaysia and what's good in Sweden?
Yeah, and then we sort of concluded that actually Malaysia is still the best place, not just for us as Malaysians to stay in, but for expats to actually retire or to live in here. I think the first thing for expats perspective is you don't have to commit anything on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because our visa over here, just a normal travel visa, it allows 90 days. Not a lot of countries allow 3 months. So basically, you can come over to Malaysia.
Have a short stay.
Yeah, you stay 1 month, 2 months, you can find one rental. You just do some research, you can find one easily, and it's not difficult. It's just those typical locations like KLCC, Bukit Bintang, Desa Park, Mont Kiara, Bangsa, all these very typical locations. But if you are more interested to know about Chinese, then you go to PJ, you go stay in Cheras, Bukit Jalil. Actually it's very easy to find a place to rent in Malaysia, and it's very cheap.
Because our information is all available in English.
Yeah, correct. Our medium of language, right? This is something that I only realized. For expats, whichever from China, Chinese, or Koreans, or Europeans, right, or US, it's so easy. Everything they will just look back at English website, then menu, everything is all in English. So it's so easy for us to communicate with them. Even when we travel to their country, we use English as well. It's so convenient.
Okay, because let's say we do use a lot of English in our information sharing and all that, because we use a lot of Google. We are much like the Americans and the Europeans, and we are also a lot like, for us Chinese, Malaysian Chinese, we are also a lot like the mainland Chinese, where we use 小红书, we use
we use a lot of apps.
小红书.
Douyin.
Douyin, I don't use, but I do see a lot of
People use
youngsters
it, yeah.
nowadays using it.
So basically, we are actually receiving information from the Western platform, which are Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and then for the Eastern side, you have Douyin, then you have 小红书. These two is the main powerful app. So we are receiving two information. That's why it makes Malaysians so diverse.
It also makes us the favorite spot for foreigners. A lot of foreigners to be compatible to retire in and to live in. Because if, let's say, honkies, when they want to come, right, we have people who can speak Cantonese like me, my family, we all speak Cantonese, then we all speak English, I speak Mandarin, then we all speak Malay. So Indonesians, if they want to come, they can come. So we're very, diverse, very
accommodative basically.
Yeah.
In terms of language wise, we are very accommodative because we have zero, I can say near to zero racism. Like for example, if from Chinese, we understand that their main language is in Mandarin. So sometimes when I saw this kind of tourists that talk to an information counter, and so coincidentally the information counter people is actually Malay, I will try to go and translate. I mean, this is how well
Malaysians are.
yeah, we Malaysians are. That's I think one thing. We are very friendly, very warm, and our weather is also very warm
And humid.
and humid. That I think that is a cons about Malaysia lah. To be honest,
Yeah. If you come here, your skin will become
very oily.
a bit bad.
Yeah,
Worse than your original
normal. Yeah,
country.
depends on where you come from as
Yeah,
well.
depends on where you.
So I think first things first, our actually Malaysians as well, we are actually very welcoming. So for any expats who are planning to come, right, don't worry, please. Just don't worry. We are actually quite safe, everything. We are a safe country. Of course, just don't do outrageous things. You purposely throw your wallet along, any street, the chances of it getting missing, it's high. Those are very typical things. But
Which leads us to, the next point, which is Malaysia is a melting pot of cultures. We have Chinese, and then in Chinese we have a lot of sub clans. Like you have Hokkien, you have Cantonese, Teochew, everything. So it translates to food. In terms of food, right, we have a lot of diversity.
yes.
So if you want, let's say you're used to Western food, we have a lot of cafes, we have a lot of French restaurants.
And a lot of Malaysians are actually, they went to US, Europe countries
to
to study
work
and they
before.
come back
Yeah.
and they form their own restaurant. And
We've
it's
been
actually,
meeting more and more, Malaysians who worked in overseas and they're coming back to retire also.
and all the food that they all do, to be honest, it doesn't lose to Europe countries or Chinese countries.
The original.
Yeah, it doesn't lose because it's the same thing.
I mean, you keep mentioning to me that our Chinese, the mainland Chinese food is better than Chengdu one, right?
Exactly. For those who is watching, if you plan to go to Chengdu with your family through a tour, any tour, just be prepared to bring some Maggi mee. Because the food is really not nice. Hands down. The tour thing, right? The tour food, I'm not too sure it's a tour or Chengdu's food. It's really not nice. It's so bland and I don't know, maybe it's tour. But
Probably tour lah.
Chengdu snacks is nice. Street
Street food.
snacks, yeah, street food. But their normal main cuisine is not good, to be honest. I still love Malaysian one. So that's why when we come back to Malaysia, whichever you want Western, you want China, you want Italian, you want
French,
I don't know, whatever you want, you also have.
Japanese.
It's just
Korean.
in different locations. Like in Mont Kiara and Sri Hatamas, it's more Japanese and Korean, these two. And
Mont Kiara, there's a lot of Western also.
Western as well.
Sri Hatamas is really packed with Korean and Japanese food.
Yeah, and how about Bangsa?
Bangsa, there's a lot of Western food.
When it comes to food, you better ask her, okay?
Yeah, a lot of nice burger spots, cafe. Indian food, there's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Famous ones. Basically,
And if you are craving for any China food, Velocity.
Kuchai.
Sunway Velocity and Kuchai Lama.
And
I
I
think
think there's
these two with Swift Darling maybe. Yeah. So I mean, just let us know if you are coming to Malaysia and there's any cuisine that you want to try.
or just any questions at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. Don't just think that you come to Malaysia, it's only KL and you only have KLCC and Bukit Bintang. It's wrong. No, we have a lot of other it's actually those prime areas. Because you have to understand, like the time I went to Chengdu their population is first tier, second tier, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Expanding outwards.
Yeah, but for Malaysia we
Sekelompok.
we have different groups.
Groups. These different groups and scattered.
It's just scattered. Like for example, KLCC here, you think this is tier 1, right? But suddenly our Mont Kiara over here is also tier 1. Then our Bangsa also tier 1. It's like different places. So you were thought that right next to TRX it should be very atas, right? Suddenly you have Pudu, which is like one of the oldest street. It's like very old school.
Old town.
It's very, very old. It's right next to it. So it's very different from other countries.
Okay, if you say it's not just KL, right, in Malaysia, how about Johor, where you come from? Because recently I just got to know, right, there's something called Special Economic Zone for MM2H scheme in Johor.
Oh, okay.
Like, what is that about?
Okay, so talking about MM2H, right, I think everyone is the hot topic for expat. So there are basically 4 types of MM2H. You have silver, gold, platinum, and then you have special economic zone. Okay, very confusing, right? I know. For everyone, For all expats, it's the same. Okay, so if not mistaken, if they haven't changed, their silver, you need to have an FD of 150,000 USD. You have to bring in. Okay, for gold, if not mistaken, it's 500,000 USD. And then for platinum, it's 1 million USD. And then for special economic zone, which is basically tax-free area where some government they want to push certain locations, like in Johor, our ghost town that is so well known to
Especially Singapore like to do video on it.
yeah,
They like to capitalize on
I'm
it.
not too sure about that. Okay, so a lot of countries they are actually saying, oh, Malaysia have this is the second largest failed project.
Second largest.
I don't know. I heard so. Don't know top 5 one is a failed project. Yeah.
Huh?
Mega,
Got top one
basically, Forest City is you have a lot of condos popping up by China construction, developer. Then COVID came, then suddenly everything just died down. It's basically like a tax-free location. Then you have a bridge as well. They plan to do a bridge that links us to Singapore. So now government is actually pushing that location as a special economic zone. And special economic zone, the FD that you have to bring in, if not mistaken, it's only 65,000. I think it's 60 to 65,000 USD compared to the minimum is 150k of USD. So that's one thing. And then of course, the minimum validity to stay in is actually 5 years. And for gold, then it's 10 if not mistaken. Then for platinum, it's 10, 20. And then there are a lot of some of their terms and conditions here and there. So basically, they're trying to push people to buy those expats basically to buy overhung properties and buy from developer only to curb our oversupply issue. So if you ask me, I would say Forest City now the price has been adjusted a lot. So it makes it more okay to buy in, but it may not be the best choice to buy. But if you are, I mean, for those who's watching, because she's Malaysian, so she don't need M&2H. Suddenly I switch over here. So for those who needs M&2H, right? Basically, if you want the most affordable way and you want M&2H, you buy a property in Johor. I'm not sure if I can say this. Yeah, it's just basically you buy a property in Forest City. Of course, it must fit all those terms and conditions. And then maybe occasionally you can come to KL and staycation for 1-2 months. Yeah, so there is no guideline to say that you have to stay there forever, right? If you want to know more, just email me so I can give you a more detailed explanation. Or follow my Patreon. Yeah, I just started actually a Patreon account. So this Patreon account will then be focusing more on in-depth on neighborhood analysis, like how Desa Park is.
Weekday vibes, night vibes, day vibes. What restaurants are available?
Yes, and what are like for example, if you're looking at condo A, what should be the real value of condo A's buying price, rentals? Don't overpay, because for foreigners sometimes we'll be afraid as well. We are afraid that people will cutthroat on the pricing. But don't worry, just follow. I mean, you can just click Patreon, my Patreon, just follow, and then I'll share you actually the true to value pricing so that you won't get scammed basically. So don't worry, Malaysians, we don't scam don't worry.
So he will be your Malaysian
buddy. Yeah, Malaysian buddy. So back over here first. I mean, just talking about M2H. So roughly, it's actually a very attractive thing, but a lot of things are still not yet set foot, not 100% yet.
What do you mean?
In terms of a lot of terms and conditions, it keeps changing here and there. And of course, they're actually planning to have Medini, Sunway Iskandar, Hello Kitty Land.
Why is that called Medini?
I don't know. I haven't been
What's
there.
What's the official name?
I think Iskandar, Malaysia. I think so. I'm not too sure actually. But that location, you have a lot of landed properties. Then you have Legoland, you have Hello Kitty Land previously over there, and you have the second link bridge that links you over to Singapore. So hearsay, not confirmed, that it may be a special economic zone as well. Hearsay. So that is interesting. But why not many people want to buy there? I hearsay also, it's a lot of leasehold land. So yeah, that is one of the main things. But if you want me to review over there, just let me know in the comment section below. So maybe one day we can fly to or drive to Johor. Drive to Johor and review over there. So that's one thing. And then I think one more thing is the most important thing why expats should live in Malaysia is actually our cost of living, right? If you were to think about it, our dollar to dollar, right? Nothing in this world is 1 ringgit equals to 1 euro, 1 ringgit equals to 1 USD, right? It's definitely not the same.
Okay, I think for cost of living, right, for food wise and everyday expenses, it's not that low. It's not as low as people think that we used to be, right? So because we travel to Sweden, right, it's only a bit more expensive than KL's expenses level.
Okay, can you define like,
Okay,
are you
because
judging based on cafe food ke, or hawker food ke?
I mean, of course, I'm judging based on cafe food, restaurant food. You know, I'm not judging based on hawker food. But even hawker is getting to double-digit prices, like 10 ringgit, 11 ringgit. You know, there's not many places offering 9 ringgit things already.
So I mean, okay,
I mean, I don't know because I'm not really that price sensitive. You're more price sensitive,
Yeah.
ma. So I think it's more apparent in the difference in cost of living is more apparent in, let's say, the accommodation, the vehicle, our transportation.
Okay, first things first, I think our transportation in terms of Grab is expensive. If you were to convert it dollar to dollar, meaning to say 15 ringgit equals to 15 euro is confirm expensive. For China, it's actually expensive, but for Europe, it's actually very cheap. But of course, then if you were to compare with Europe countries, right, everything in Europe or US, Canada, it's actually more expensive than us. Aside of fast food, I think US, their fast food is actually cheaper than us. So I think if you were to compare, right, our cost of living is actually very cheap. If, whoever who wants to come over to retire here, live here, if you want to be very budget, right, in the morning, you just eat roti kosong. It's 1 ringgit. 1 ringgit equals to 30 Sing dollar cent. And Europe wise, euro dollar, it will be 20. Yeah, then yeah, it's actually very cheap, basically. So, I mean, the cost of living is actually very, very low in Malaysia. If you are expat level. Yeah, expatriate level. And one more thing is the rental. If you were to convert it to ringgit, right, it's maybe around 6,000 ringgit, near to, I think, yeah, 6,000 plus. You can comfortably rent a very big apartment in Mont Kiara. It's like our tier 1 location.
Like 2,000
Square feet?
plus square feet,
Yeah.
3,000 plus square feet.
Yeah, it's basically 200 square meter because they use square meter.
I don't know.
Yeah, just divide by 10. Okay, but anyway, so basically it's very affordable to rent in Malaysia. It's just that you really have to find the right condo and the right property agent because owners sometimes when they see, wow, this one from Dubai, want to cut throat. Yeah, it's very common. I mean, people like this happens in all countries, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't restrict to Southeast Asia or Asia or anywhere.
Because stereotype is real.
Yeah, stereotype is real. So that's one thing. And yeah, I think basically cost of living in terms of food, transportation. I would say one day if you want to eat like a king, like a king, morning, a cafe breakfast, it's like maybe 40 ringgit plus an Americano 50. And our service tax is basically 10%. SST is 6%, our government tax. So it's like 16%.
Actually, some cafes can go up to 70, 80 for a breakfast, cafe.
Depends. Yeah, depends.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
The price gets, quite steep also.
But if in general, 50 ringgit confirm can find.
Yeah.
50 ringgit.
Decent cafe food.
Yeah, it's actually very expensive already. For us Malaysians, expensive already.
Actually, for them, it's expensive also.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
If you convert, it's only like 10 pounds or like maybe 15 euro.
Yeah, that's their normal.
Yeah, that's why it's considered expensive. But if you want a cheaper one, you also have like cheaper cafe style. You have 30 plus. I remember I seen 30 plus before. And that's big breakfast, for info.
Yeah.
Big breakfast. And lunchtime, you eat in any pavilion, Bukit Bintang, whichever place. Averagely 30, 40 ringgit can settle, confirm, you can find. Don't say Western steak or what lah, huh? Just normal, proper meal, Asian meal, 30-40 ringgit, it's possible. Confirm, it's possible. And then if dinner, another 50 to 70 ringgit. So basically one day is like 150. Confirm it's way above our high income earners daily spending. It's way above 150. Whoa, 150. You times by 30 days.
150, if I go for a hot pot dinner,
No,
it's already,
but you cannot be everyday eating hot pot ma.
you say eat like a king ma.
The king is like one portion's king lah. Don't talk about 2-3 people lah.
I mean,
wait, 50 ringgit also can what? Sukiya? It's not hot pot lah, but it's meat also lah.
It's sukiyaki lah, it's Japanese
Sukiyaki.
shabu shabu.
Not sukiya meh? Sukiya.
That's sukiya lah, but
Oh.
the style of cooking is
It's
called
sukiyaki.
shabu shabu,
Oh.
sukiyaki.
So basically, if a lot of Europeans or US people or Chinese or Koreans, then come Malaysia, they don't have enough meat. They feel that we Asians, we Southeast Asian, Malaysian, we don't eat enough meat, right?
We eat a lot of carbs.
Yeah, we eat a lot of carbs. So you go to this kind of hot pot places, or you can eat buffet. You can find for 30-40 ringgit.
Yakiniku.
Yeah, and it's not limited to Malaysians only. You can, foreigners also can eat. Don't worry. And I think roughly in terms of food transport, I think roughly we have covered everything. It's really affordable. I would say 150 ringgit,
Transportation
5,000 ringgit for makan, just purely eat per month. It's
You
definitely
can eat like a king lah.
really
5K.
like a king.
Per pax, per month. 5K.
If you want to be on budget, 5,000, you still can save at least 2,000 ringgit. No joking.
I mean, save 3,000 also can what?
Yeah.
Feasible.
I mean, Malaysia is very flexible. You want cheap food, you want expensive food,
Yeah.
we have everything. I'm not joking. You can go for hawker food. When it comes to food, I'll talk a lot because it's the most.
I mean, Malaysians, everyone knows lah. Malaysia is all about food.
Yeah, we really, and if you eat supper, another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so besides this, transportation, take MRT. I think per station is like maybe 2 ringgit, 2 ringgit. I think.
I think it's less than that.
I don't know. I
I think it's around 70 to 80 cents.
Is it?
That time we took from LRT. I mean,
a
it's
3-4 station is around 2 ringgit lah.
yeah, so
Oh yeah, correct. I'm not too sure about transportation because we we are considered as car first country, meaning to say if you were to buy a house or rent a house, still find places where it's easier to order Grab or to drive. Don't rely on MRT or LRT solely. Don't solely rely on them. For me, MRT and LRT is just a bonus. It's never a must thing because we are in Malaysia lah, basically.
because Malaysia, one thing, the weather makes us less walkable.
Yeah.
And our MRT system is still not that comprehensive yet, right? We can't. It's not how to say doorstep.
Yeah, it's not doorstep.
Yeah, it's not doorstep to a lot of places.
Yes.
I mean, hotspot places, yes. But if you really want to live like a local, then it's not.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
that 100% ish lah. It's not fully covered yet. Some of them is just you walk along the roadside. It's very common. Yeah. So Malaysia, we are still trying to improve on that, and I can assure you, we are definitely improving on that. I can
Yeah.
assure you
Yeah.
because this past I think 5 or 6 years, right? I've seen a lot of changes, especially in the pedestrian friendliness. This is one thing that I like. Really changed a lot because I like to walk actually. Yeah, so it's quite sad. And I'm quite happy as well. So now improve already. Last time very sad. Yeah, I think with that, basically, that ends this first home podcast. I hope it's the last because I want to convey back to my car podcast.
Maybe they like home podcast, eh?
Oh, okay. So I mean, just let us know whichever that you like, and do remember to follow my Patreon account. I'll be trying to upload more informative items over there as well, so that you guys can have a more in-depth insights on Malaysia, especially KL. So do like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye. Say bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.